The night sky erupted in flames as the ship tore through Earth's atmosphere. Inside, He-Jin fought with the failing controls, her silver blood dripping from a wound on her forehead. The small bundle in the passenger compartment cried out, and He-Jin's heart ached. She had to land safely, not for herself, but for the infant she was protecting. The mountains of rural Korea loomed ahead. He-Jin saw a clearing between the trees, but the ship's engines were dying. Warning lights flashed across the cockpit as systems failed one by one. She pulled up with all her strength, trying to slow their descent. "Hold on, little one," she whispered in her native tongue. The ground rushed up to meet them. Taiwan was walking home from the village school where he taught when he saw the streak of light in the sky. His wife Mina, who worked as the village doctor, grabbed his arm and pointed. "Look, a meteor." The object changed direction. Meteors didn't do that. It was heading toward the forest near their home. When it crashed, the impact shook the ground. Without hesitation, they ran toward the crash site. "Call the authorities," someone shouted from a nearby house. "No time," Mina called back. If someone was hurt, they needed help now. They found the crashed ship in a smoking crater. It didn't look like any aircraft they had ever seen. The metal had a strange pearly sheen, and parts of it seemed to shift color in the moonlight. "Hello," Ta-1 called out. "Anyone there?" A weak sound came from inside. Mina spotted a gap in the damaged hull, just big enough to squeeze through. "There's someone inside." They climbed down carefully. The interior was filled with blinking lights and strange symbols. In the cockpit, they found He-Jin. She was clearly not human. Her skin had a bluish tint, and her eyes were large and golden. Silver blood pooled beneath her. Mina immediately checked her vital signs, doctor's instincts kicking in despite her shock. "She's alive, but barely." A cry echoed from behind them. Not He-Jin, but something else. Taiwan found a small compartment and gasped. Inside was a baby, secured in what looked like a travel pod. The infant appeared almost human, except for faint markings on its skin that seemed to shimmer. He-Jin's eyes fluttered open. She spoke, and to their surprise, they could understand her. The universal translator still works. She coughed, silver droplets staining her lips. "Please, the child. She must live. She is special, last of her kind." Mina tried to help He-Jin, but the alien's wounds were too severe. "We can get you help." "No time." He-Jin reached for a panel near her seat. Her name, Du-Yun. In your language, it means guiding light. "Please, protect her. Raise her well." Her golden eyes locked onto theirs. "She is meant to bridge our worlds. When the time comes, we will," Ta-1 promised, holding the baby carefully. The infant had stopped crying and was watching them with curious eyes. He-Jin smiled weakly. "The ship's core will overload soon. Take her. Go." They wanted to help He-Jin, but she pushed them away. Understanding her sacrifice, they climbed out with the baby. They had barely reached a safe distance when the ship's core detonated. The explosion was strangely quiet, more light than sound, leaving only scattered debris. Mina held Du-Yun close as they watched the wreckage fade to dull metal. "What do we do now?" Taiwan looked at the baby, who had fallen asleep in Mina's arms. "We keep our promise. We protect her, raise her as our own." They hurried home through the forest, knowing their lives had changed forever. Behind them, the remains of He-Jin's ship slowly sank into the earth, its secrets buried with its pilot. But one secret remained, sleeping peacefully in Mina's arms, a child who would one day change the fate of two worlds. 5 years passed quickly in the small village. Du-Yun grew into a curious and bright child, with strange markings on her skin that Mina carefully covered with long sleeves and high collars. The village people accepted the story that she was a relative's orphan child, though some wondered about her unusual golden eyes. Du-Yun learned to walk at 6 months and spoke in full sentences before her first birthday. Taiwan noticed how she could solve complex puzzles meant for older children, while Maina watched in amazement as their daughter read through medical textbooks at age 4. One spring morning, Du Yun sat in their small garden, surrounded by broken electronics. The TV remote, an old radio, and Mina's digital thermometer lay in pieces around her. Mina rushed out when she saw the mess. Du Yun, what are you doing? Making them better, Mom, Du Yun said simply. Her small fingers moved with strange precision as she reassembled the remote. When she finished, it could control every electronic device in their house. The radio picked up signals from across the world, and the thermometer could now scan entire bodies for illness. Taiwan kept her gifts secret, teaching her to blend in at school. But it wasn't easy. During a storm, all the lights in the village went out except their house. Du Yun had somehow fixed their power box to work better than before. The village elder, Mr. Sung, started asking questions. He noticed how machines worked differently around Du Yun, how computers turned on when she walked past, how her toy cars moved without batteries. Your daughter is special, he told Taiwan one day. Perhaps too special. Mina and Taiwan worried, but Du Yun made their fear easier to bear. She filled their home with joy and wonder. She drew pictures of strange stars and told stories about worlds she couldn't possibly know. When asked how she knew these things, she would say, "I see them in my dreams." At night, they often found her on the roof, staring at the stars. "I feel like they're calling me," she told them once, "like there's something I need to remember." The couple shared worried looks. They knew this day would come, but not so soon. They had found pieces of He Jin's ship and buried them deep in the forest, hoping to protect Du Yun from the truth until she was older. One day, Du Yun came home crying from school. "Why am I different?" she asked. Ji-hoon said, "My eyes look weird." And when I got upset, his phone exploded in his pocket. Mina held her close. "Being different isn't bad, sweetie. It makes you special." "But I don't want to be special." Du Yun buried her face in her mother's shirt. "I want to be like everyone else." That night, Taiwan found strange symbols glowing on Du Yun's skin as she slept. The markings they had always hidden were becoming brighter, harder to conceal. Mina noticed how their daughter's dreams were getting stronger too. She would speak in an unknown language in her sleep, and small objects would float around her bed. "We need to tell her soon," Mina whispered to her husband. "She's starting to show more signs. What He Jin said about bridging worlds, it's beginning." Taiwan nodded, watching their daughter sleep. "But how do you tell a child she comes from the stars? That she's meant for something bigger than this small village?" They didn't know the answer, but they knew they had to prepare, because somewhere out there, Du Yun's people might be looking for her, and their quiet life in the mountains couldn't stay quiet forever. Du Yun turned 12 the day she found the ship parts. She had wandered deeper into the forest than usual, following a strange pull she couldn't explain. The earth had shifted after heavy rains, revealing twisted metal with the same pearly sheen as her hidden skin markings. Her hand shook as she touched the metal. Suddenly, images flooded her mind. She saw a woman with golden eyes like hers, piloting this ship. She felt the fear, the desperation of the escape. She heard a baby crying. Herself. Du Yun sat in the mud, her head spinning. The memories weren't hers, but they felt real. She dug deeper, finding more pieces. Each one showed her more. A world with 2 suns, cities that floated in the air, and people who looked like her without having to hide. A small black box caught her eye. When she picked it up, it hummed to life. Symbols appeared in the air above it, the same symbols she'd been drawing since she was little. Now, somehow, she could read them. "Ship's log," she whispered, the strange language feeling natural on her tongue. "Emergency protocol activated. Pilot He Jin, carrying precious cargo." Du Yun spent hours reading the logs. She learned about her people, the Chirons, and their amazing technology. She discovered why He Jin had crashed. She was running from something. The logs were damaged, but they mentioned a war, a plan to protect something important. To protect her. When she got home that evening, covered in mud and clutching the black box, her parents knew. They couldn't hide the truth anymore. "We hoped to wait until you were older," Mina said, holding her daughter close. "We wanted you to have a normal childhood." "Was anything about me ever normal?" Do-Yun asked, but she wasn't angry. She showed them the box, made it light up with a touch. "I can understand it all now. The dreams, the way machines work around me, why I'm different." Taiwan brought out a small chest they'd kept hidden for years. Inside were more pieces of the ship, things they'd saved from the crash. "Hejin wanted you to have these when you were ready. She said you would know what to do with them." Do-Yun's fingers moved over the pieces with new understanding. She could feel the technology responding to her touch, wanting to work again. "I can fix these," she said. "I know how now. It's like I always knew, but I couldn't remember until today." That night, in their backyard, Do-Yun showed her parents what she could really do. She made the pieces float and combine, forming new devices. Lights danced around her as she worked, her markings glowing openly for the first time. "I'm not scared anymore," she told them. "This is who I am." But as Do-Yun embraced her heritage, others noticed the change in her. At school, her friend Jin-Ho saw her markings glowing through her shirt. Instead of running away, he was amazed. "You're like a superhero," he whispered during lunch. "Like in the comics." Do-Yun smiled, grateful for his acceptance, but she knew this was bigger than comic book adventures. The ship's logs had warned of dangers coming, of choices she would have to make. In her room, surrounded by alien technology slowly coming back to life, Do-Yun made a promise to both her families, the ones who gave her life, and the ones who saved it. She would find a way to protect them all. The signal came on Do-Yun's 16th birthday. She was in her workshop, the hidden room under their house where she studied the alien technology. The black box she'd found 4 years ago suddenly lit up with urgent messages. A ship was approaching Earth, a Chiron ship. Do-Yun's hands trembled as she read the data. After years of silence, her people had returned. But why now? The box showed their ship entering the solar system, following a faint signal, the same signal her own crashed ship had been sending for years. "They've been looking for us all this time," she whispered to herself. Her markings glowed brightly with excitement and fear. Jin-Ho, who had become her closest friend and helped keep her secret, watched the holographic display with wide eyes. "What will you do?" "I don't know." Do-Yun paced the room. Machines hummed around her, responding to her agitation. "I've always wanted to know more about where I came from. But Earth is your home," Jin-Ho finished. That evening, over dinner, Taiwan noticed his daughter's distraction. "Something's wrong," he said. It wasn't a question. Do-Yun projected the ship's data above the dinner table. Mina dropped her spoon. "They're coming here." "Yes, and there's more." Do-Yun touched the black box, revealing Hejin's final logs. She wasn't just running from a war. She was trying to stop one. The Chirons, my people, they were divided. Some wanted to contact Earth peacefully. Others wanted to take it by force. "Which side is coming now?" Mina asked softly. "I don't know, but they'll be here in 3 days." Do-Yun looked at her parents, her heart heavy. "I need to tell you something else. The crash wasn't an accident. Hejin chose this place, this village, because of you." She showed them more data. Hejin had observed them for weeks before the crash. She saw how they helped others, how they taught children, healed the sick. She chose them to raise her precious cargo, a child who could change everything. "She knew you would teach me to love this world," Do-Yun said, tears in her eyes. "To see the best in humanity." Taiwan reached across the table, taking her hand. "You don't have to choose between your 2 worlds, Do-Yun. You can be a bridge between them. That's why Hejin saved you." A new alert flashed from the black box. The approaching ship had sent a message. In Kiran. Du Yun read it aloud. To the survivor of Flight 2 to 74. Prepare for contact. Your people have found you. They're your people too, Maina said firmly. Never forget that. Du Yun nodded, but her mind was racing. She had 3 days to prepare. 3 days to figure out if these Chirans came in peace or war. 3 days to decide if she would reveal herself or hide. In her workshop that night, she began repairing He Jin's old ship parts with new purpose. I won't let either world be hurt, she promised the stars. I am my mother's daughter, both my mothers, and I will find a way to protect them all. The signal pulsed stronger overhead, counting down to a meeting that would change everything. Du Yun worked through the night, guided by the memories in her blood and the love in her heart. The Chiron ship entered Earth's orbit quietly, but Earth's governments noticed. Fighter jets scrambled across the globe. Military bases went on high alert. In their small village, Du Yun watched it all unfold through her rebuilt communication systems. They've entered a holding pattern, she told Jin Ho, who hadn't left her side since the signal came. They're being careful. Earth's weapons can't hurt them, but they're not attacking either. Governments worldwide released statements about possible first contact. People panicked. Some fled cities, while others gathered to welcome the aliens. Du Yun's village buzzed with rumors about the strange lights in the sky. Then came the broadcast. It played on every screen on Earth in every language. A Chiron face appeared, so similar to Du Yun's true form. We seek one of our own, the alien said. A child, lost 16 years ago. To those protecting her, reveal her location. We mean no harm. Du Yun's parents watched the message with her. They sound peaceful, Ta-Wan said hopefully. Maybe. Du Yun studied the broadcast. But something feels wrong. He Jin's logs warned about deception, about pretty words hiding ugly plans. Through her systems, she intercepted military communications. Earth's leaders argued about how to respond. Some wanted to attack first. Others suggested giving up the alien child, if they could find her. Mr. Sung, the village elder, came to their house that evening. Strange things always happened around your girl, he told Maina and Ta-Wan. And now aliens search for a child. I am not blind. Please, Maina began, but Mr. Sung raised his hand. I have watched Du Yun grow. She is one of us, no matter where she came from. The village will protect her. Du Yun, listening from her room, made her decision. She went to her workshop and activated He Jin's emergency beacon. Within minutes, the Chiron ship responded. I know who you are, she sent back in Kiran. And I know what He Jin died protecting. I am her legacy. The reply came swift. Then you know you belong with us. Earth is not your home. Earth is my home, Du Yun answered, and I won't let you harm it. She showed her parents the rest of He Jin's logs, finely decoded. The Chirons above them belonged to the war faction. They didn't want peace. They wanted Earth's resources, its strategic position. And they wanted her, a child born with rare abilities to interface with their highest technology. What will you do? Jin Ho asked. Du Yun looked at her family, her human parents who loved her, her best friend who kept her secret, the village elder who chose to protect her. Then she looked at the sky, where her birth people waited. I choose both, she said firmly. He Jin died to give me that choice. I won't let either world be destroyed. She began powering up the rebuilt parts of He Jin's ship, their lights pulsing with her determination. I am Earth's daughter and Kyra's child, and I will make them see that war is not the answer. Above them, the Chiron ship started moving. They had tracked her signal. Time was running out. Whatever you decide, Ta-Wan said, we're with you. Du Yun hugged her family, then turned to her machines. The real test was about to begin. Du Yun worked faster than ever before, her fingers flying over alien technology as she restored He Jin's communication systems. Military helicopters circled the area, getting closer to their village. The Chiran ship hung in the sky like a dark promise. "They're tracking the energy signature," she told Jinho, who helped her carry parts through the forest to Hejin's crash site. "We need to set up here, where it all began." Her parents had spread word through the village. Everyone needed to stay inside. Mr. Sung made sure they listened, telling them it was for their own safety. No one questioned him when military trucks appeared on the mountain roads. Du Yun's markings glowed brightly as she worked, no longer hidden. She connected pieces of the old ship, forming a makeshift communication array. "Hejin left everything we need," she said. She knew this day would come. Jinho watched in amazement as parts floated and joined together under Du Yun's touch. "What exactly are you building?" "A bridge," she answered. "Not just for talking, but for showing truth." Hejin's ship recorded everything. The war, the peace faction's plans, the real reason they want Earth. Suddenly, phones across the village lit up with a message. "This is a military notification. All residents must evacuate immediately. This is not a drill." "They found us," Maina said, running up to the crash site with Tadwan. Du Yun nodded, not stopping her work. "Good. Let them come. They need to see this too." The array hummed to life, projecting a massive hologram into the sky. It showed Hejin's memories, the Chiran War Council planning to use Earth as a military base, the peace faction's desperate plan to prevent it, and Hejin's choice to hide their most valuable asset, a child who could unite both worlds. Broadcasting on all frequencies, Du Yun announced, "Military, civilian, and Chiran. Everyone needs to know the truth." The military vehicles reached the village edge. Soldiers poured out, weapons ready. Above, the Chiran ship broke through the clouds, much closer now. "Du Yun," Tadwan called out. "They're coming from both sides." She stood in front of her makeshift array, hands steady on the controls. "I know. This is our chance to show both sides what Hejin died for, what I was saved for." The hologram shifted, showing Du Yun's own memories. Growing up loved by human parents, protected by a human village, learning to bridge two worlds. Her voice rang out in both Korean and Chiran. "I am the proof that our peoples can live together. That war is not the answer." Military commanders stared at the hologram, watching proof of alien life and conspiracy unfold. The Chiran ship hung silent, receiving the same transmission. "They're powering weapons," Jinho warned, checking Du Yun's monitors. "No," she said firmly. "They're powering down. Look." The Chiran ship's energy signature changed. A new voice came through her array, from the peace faction that had hidden within the warship's crew, waiting for this moment. Du Yun smiled. "Now we talk. All of us together." But before anyone could speak, the war faction made their move. The ship's weapons powered up again, targeting the village. "No more talking," a harsh voice broadcast. "The child comes with us, or we reduce this place to ash." The Chiran warship's weapons hummed with deadly energy. Below, soldiers trained their guns on Du Yun's position. Her parents and Jinho stood with her, refusing to leave. "Last warning," the war faction commander broadcast. "Surrender the child." Du Yun's hands moved quickly over her controls. "Mom, Dad, get everyone to safety." "Jinho, help them." "We won't leave you," Maina insisted. "Trust me," Du Yun said, her markings pulsing with determination. "I know what I'm doing." Through her array, she spoke to both sides. "You all want me because I can control Chiran technology. But you haven't seen what I can really do." She pressed her hands against Hejin's ship parts. They responded instantly, rising and reshaping themselves. The military watched in amazement as broken pieces became whole again. The crash site glowed with alien energy. "Impossible," the Chiran commander said. "Those systems are dead." "Not dead," Du Yun corrected. "Waiting." "Hejin knew what I would become. She left me everything I needed." The warship fired a warning shot, scorching the earth near the village. People screamed. Du Yun's hands moved faster. "I am not your weapon," she declared. "I am the bridge He Jin died to create, and I will not let you destroy either of my homes." She accessed the warship's systems remotely, her mind connecting with their technology. Alarms blared aboard the alien vessel as Du Yun's influence spread through their computers. "Stop her," the commander ordered, but the Peace Faction crew members chose that moment to act. Fighting broke out on the warship. The military commander stepped forward. "This is your final chance. Surrender to Earth authorities." Du Yun looked at him calmly. "I'm not surrendering to anyone. I'm saving everyone." She raised her hands. He Jin's rebuilt technology responded, creating a shield around the village. When the warship fired again, their weapons couldn't penetrate it. "Listen to me," Du Yun broadcast to all. "The war faction wants Earth as a military base. The peace faction wants diplomatic contact. Earth's governments want to protect their people. We all want survival." Through her array, she showed more memories, but not just He Jin's or her own. She accessed the warship's records, revealing the truth about the Kiran Civil War, how the war faction's plans would destroy both worlds. "Your weapons can't hurt us," the commander threatened. "I don't want to hurt anyone," Du Yun answered. "I want to show you a better way." She expanded her shield, letting it float up toward the warship. Inside it, images played of Earth and Kira, showing how both worlds could benefit from peace. The peace faction gained control of more ship systems. The war faction commander screened orders, but his crew saw the truth in Du Yun's memories. They saw what she represented: hope for both worlds. Military leaders watched as Du Yun controlled alien technology with ease, protecting Earth while offering peace. She was everything they feared and everything they needed. "Make your choice," Du Yun said to all sides. "War that destroys us all or peace that saves us all. I choose peace. Who stands with me?" While both sides considered her ultimatum, Du Yun felt a new signal coming from deep within He Jin's rebuilt systems. A hidden message, locked until this exact moment. As she accessed it, He Jin's hologram appeared before her. "My precious Du Yun," He Jin's image said, "if you're seeing this, you've discovered your true purpose. The war faction believes you're a weapon. The peace faction thinks you're a symbol, but you're something far more important." The hologram showed a younger He Jin working in a lab. "I was part of the team that created the neural interface technology. We thought it would help pilots fly better. But you were born with this gift, naturally. You can connect with our technology in ways we never imagined." Military leaders and Kiran crew members all watched as He Jin's message played. The war faction wants to use Earth's position to control this sector of space. The peace faction wants to share knowledge, but neither side sees the whole truth, that our peoples need each other to survive. Du Yun's hands trembled as she watched. He Jin continued, "Your human parents taught you love, compassion, and courage. Your Chiron blood gives you powers beyond imagination. You are not just a bridge between worlds. You are the key to saving both." The hologram changed, showing complex technical data. "I left you everything you need. The ship's core contains emergency protocols only you can activate. You'll know what to do when the time comes." He Jin's image smiled sadly. "I wish I could have watched you grow up. But I knew Taiwan and Maina would raise you well. They saw what I saw. A child who could change everything." The war faction commander's voice cut through. "Enough games. The girl comes with us, or we fire on full power." Du Yun looked at the technical data He Jin had left. Her eyes widened as she understood. "No," she said quietly. "I know what I have to do." She turned to her parents and Jinho. He Jin didn't just crash here. She chose this place, this moment. The ship's core, it can neutralize their weapons. But someone has to pilot it. "You can't," Mina cried. "It's too dangerous." But Du Yun's mind was made up. Her markings glowed brighter than ever as she connected with the rebuilt ship parts. They transformed, forming a small but powerful craft around her. "I am He-Jin's legacy," she broadcast to all, "and I will finish what she started." The war faction ship charged their main cannon. Earth's military aimed their weapons, and Du Yun, daughter of two worlds, prepared to fly. "Trust me," she told her family. Then she activated the ship's core, and everything changed. Du Yun's small ship rose into the air. Parts of He-Jin's vessel reformed into a sleek craft. The war faction's massive ship loomed above, weapons charged. Earth's military watched, weapons ready but useless against Kiran technology. "This ends now," Du Yun broadcast. Her hands moved across the controls with natural skill, as if she'd been flying all her life. The war faction commander laughed. "One small ship against our warship. You're brave but foolish, child." "You don't understand," Du Yun said calmly. "This isn't about fighting. This ship isn't a weapon. It's a key." She flew straight at the warship. Their weapons tracked her, but she moved too fast. Her mind connected directly to her ship's systems. Inside the warship, the Peace faction crew watched in awe as this child flew with impossible skill. "Let me pilot the ship," the girl screamed as the ship crashed through the warship's shields. But this was no real crash. Du Yun had found a way in, using He-Jin's codes to bypass their defenses. Her small ship attached to their hull. Through their connected systems, Du Yun accessed the warship's core. Her mind touched every system, every weapon, every control. "He-Jin gave me more than just technology," she broadcast to all. "She gave me understanding. Watch." With a thought, she shut down the warship's weapons. The war faction commander raged, but his controls wouldn't respond. Du Yun's influence spread through their systems like a wave of peace. "You see," she said, "violence isn't the answer. Let me show you a better way." Through the ship's systems, she shared her vision. Earth and Kira working together, sharing knowledge, growing stronger through peace than they ever could through war. The Peace faction crew, seeing their chance, took control of the bridge. The war faction commander faced the truth. He had lost. Du Yun landed both ships gently in the clearing by her village. Earth's military surrounded them, but she had proved she came in peace. Her parents and Jin Ho ran to meet her as she stepped out of her ship. "I understand now," she told them, hugging them tight. "Why He-Jin chose you, chose this place. Love is stronger than any weapon." The Peace faction leaders emerged from the warship. They bowed to Du Yun, recognizing what she represented. Earth's military leaders approached cautiously, but with hope instead of fear. "We have much to discuss," Du Yun said to both sides. "About peace, about working together, about building a future that helps everyone." She stood tall, no longer hiding who she was. Her markings glowed softly in the dawnlight as she prepared to help forge a new path for both her worlds. "He-Jin's legacy wasn't just about technology or power," she said. "It was about choice. The choice to see past fear, to choose peace over war, to believe in something better." She looked at her family, human and Kiran both, and smiled. "And I choose to build bridges, not walls. Who will help me?" One by one, they stepped forward. Earth and Kira would never be the same, and somewhere, Du Yun knew, He-Jin was watching with pride.